First things first, do you even believe that you're a high-value man? Because you can't convince anyone you're high value if you can't even convince yourself. So, is there anything that makes you special? Yes, there is. You just gotta find it. Now, if you found it, well, then it's time to show it off without looking like a show-off. Here's one way to think about it. If your name is on the uniform, then you're working class. If it's on your shop, you're middle class. But if it's your building, you're high class. So how can you be equally subtle about your value? How can you show that girl that you're high value without bragging? Well, let's look at 8 ways that you can do this. Don't shower her with too much attention. You probably heard that if something is worth doing, it's worth your undivided attention. Well, that doesn't apply to women, especially if you want to show her that you're high value. If you do that, you come off as creepy, and there's nothing classy about creepy. So you're always at her beck and call, and you think that she'll love you for that. Well, I've been there before, and I can assure you that you'll only get as much love as her dog or her cat. Nothing more. See, a high-value guy's attention is like gold dust. It's harder to come by and even harder to maintain, and she knows it. So when she next comes around, don't be talking and jumping. It signals low value. A high-value man won't be so quick to get wrapped up in her world. So here's the trick. Sometimes withdraw your attention momentarily. Do something else. Let her see that you have a life of your own, that your attention is valuable and not to be taken for granted. Control your emotions and presence. I used to believe that women liked vulnerable men. Men who showed their feelings every time and didn't care if someone called them a sissy. Anytime something bad happened, I would just pour my heart out and have girls console me. Trust me, not a good look. It's not just low class, it's no class. Took me some time to see what was actually happening. You see, high-value men are masters of emotional control. These folks could be dealing with a storm on the inside, but you would never catch a glimpse of it on their faces. In fact, emotions are tools in their hands, used to open up wallets and forge connections. Yes, those people use emotions, but they do not let emotions use them. Now, once I learned to control my emotions, it was time to learn to control something else. You see, high-value men have a certain presence about them that is truly magnetic. People are drawn to them. There is an aura of fascination that sets them slightly apart from the crowd. It's in every move, every gesture, every look, and every word. That is how it's done. When you step into a room, be mindful of your every step, every look, every word, and don't go to her directly. If she won't come, use bait. Make your presence scarce so it's hard to see you. And whenever she sees you, make sure you're looking your best and in control. Gather lots of experiences. Look, a lot about being high value is like real estate. It's all about location. High-class people are globetrotters, not mere tourists. They've been to places, they know various cultures, and they love having new experiences. And what does this do for them? Well, it helps them seize the attention and respect of the kinds of girls that you can only dream about. They're so interesting to chat with and to just be around. They know a lot of interesting things, and this makes them seem sophisticated. So, do you want to grab her attention and hold it for long? Well, you need to know a lot of interesting things. You need to have exciting experiences to share. If not that, then what do you want to talk about with her? Your boring day at work or stories about your boring neighbors? No girl wants to hear the regular things that go on every day, all the time. They want something different. So be the difference. Be high value by gathering different experiences that you can share. Create happiness around you. Creating your own happiness is the mark of a high-value man. In an era where many depend on others for pleasure and let external factors dictate their joy, be different. You don't want to be the guy who needs her to be happy. You probably heard a lot of men say, "She's my happiness," and think that that's a good thing. Well, it might be a good thing, but it ain't high class. A high-value person is in the driving seat when it comes to happiness. High-value men don't need anyone else to create their happiness. They are the ones who create happiness for those around them. So ask yourself, does she want to be happy? Of course, everyone does. Well, then you have a job to do. For the few times you show up around her, give her a happy time. A man that brings happiness today is like an oasis in the desert. How valuable is such an oasis? Well, I shouldn't have to say, but highly valuable. So we're about halfway through the video. Why don't you hit that subscribe button to support the channel? Do the same for the like button if you happen to be liking the video. All done? Let's get back to the list. Be classy in your ways. Firstly, class is not synonymous with wealth. It is an attitude, a reputation, and the way that you interact with the world. People with class can always find money. Not all those with money can find class. Class is about being polite, gracious, and hospitable. It is in the attention to detail and how you present yourself, from the attire to even your scent. Look at it this way. Everyone who sees you, including that girl that you won, would want to know who you are and if you're worth approaching or responding to. So they're looking for clues from your interactions and your appearance. You can also come off as classy if you know fine art. And here's the gist. Many people who might not particularly care about the beauty of art still buy it even if it's from eBay. Why? Because they understand something that most people don't. Art doesn't just enrich your life, it shows class. And girls love high class. Be flexible. Flexibility is often misunderstood. It don't mean you're no pushover. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about understanding that the most obvious way to deal with the situation is not always the best way. It's recognizing that the world is not simply black or white. It is a landscape of different shades. A rigid personality simply tells you that you don't like growth, and trust me, women can tell. To truly embody the qualities of a high-value man, you gotta be flexible. For instance, when someone insults you, you don't have to get into a fist fight with them right there. Being macho has its place too. You can find ways to respond while maintaining your dignity. You don't want to lose your dignity over some silly words. Be educated. No, it's not just about learning the basics in school. It's about how you carry yourself in the company of peers. This is why the wealthy often send their children to expensive boarding schools. By being surrounded by peers of similar status, wealth no longer becomes the most important thing. Believe it or not, no girl wants to spend her life with a man who doesn't know how to handle himself amongst high-value people. She might like a street guy for some time, but eventually she will learn to dislike them. Be educated so that you can keep up in a room full of men of substance, so you can hold your own wherever you go. Learn the art of etiquette, how to converse without speaking over others, the importance of politeness, and how to leverage common ground to build lasting bonds. If you're after a high-value woman, she will want these traits. Like some would say, real recognize real. Safeguard your reputation. When it comes to class, your reputation is your most prized possession. After all, you shouldn't and can't always explain yourself. You don't want to brag. So, what else will speak for you? Your reputation. Your name should hold more value than anything that you have ever purchased. This is the last stage when you follow through everything else that we've talked about. Once you've built yourself up so she sees that you're a high-value man, you need to work on keeping that reputation, no matter the cost. Money can be earned back, but once your reputation is tainted, it's gone. With these 8 qualities, she'll see that you are a high-value man without you even saying a word. So get to work on yourself. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments section. We'd love to help. Also, you can learn more in the next video.